Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. Hope you guys are staying safe. Hope everything's good wherever you guys are. So guys, some breaking news. It looks like Canelo Alvarez has signed a 3-fight deal with Al Heyman. This is crazy. I didn't expect him to sign a 3-fight deal with Al Heyman, but it looks like that's what he's done. And he's going to be fighting Charlo in September. Now, I don't know. What I would say is that I don't know whether last time there was reports that, he signed a deal when you did the plant fight, and then Canelo came out and said it was nonsense. Let's see if this one's actually true and he has signed a 3-fight deal. But it looks like the first fight will be Charlo. And here's the thing, this is a knock to all the people that were saying that Canelo's going to duck Benavidez. He's gone. If he signed a 3-fight deal, he's gone for all of the smoke, because which fights? That means all of his next fights are going to be with Al Heyman. The next 3 fights. Who can he fight? Who can he fight on Al Heyman's platform? Well, he can either fight Andrade, Charlo, or Benavidez. He's not going to fight Morrell. He's not going to fight any. So the thing is, Canelo Alvarez wants all of the smoke. And all you guys that were chatting rubbish about Canelo Alvarez, first he's going to take out Charlo. Then he's going to come out and he's going to take out Benavidez. And he's going for all of the smoke. And now this has shut a lot of you up, because a lot of you talking rubbish about Canelo. He's now signed a 3-fight deal with Al Heyman, and Al Heyman don't mess around. And what I mean by that is that Al Heyman isn't going to give Canelo gimme fights, because Al Heyman's going to be paying Canelo a lot of money. So Canelo's going to be fighting top opposition. So the only top opposition that I can think he's going to be fighting is Charlo, which is a massive fight. Then he's going to fight Benavidez, and then let's see who he fights after that. But if now you guys talk rubbish about, Canelo's cherry picking this, that, the other. I've heard it already. He's cherry picking Charlo. He's fighting Charlo, then he's going to go for Benavidez. Then what are you going to say when he smashes both of them two? So the excuses must stop now, because Canelo's gone to the smoke. He signed a 3-fight deal with PBC. So incredible stuff. I have to keep clearing them out my throat, because it's incredible stuff. This is brilliant for Canelo Alvarez and brilliant for the sport of boxing. And it's about time. It's about time where people put more respect on Saul Canelo Alvarez's name, because he deserves it. I've said it all along. This man ain't afraid of nobody. This man would fight anybody. But all of you guys in the comment section continuously disrespect him, continuously talk rubbish about Saul Canelo Alvarez. And Saul Canelo Alvarez, for me, has come back with a bang. Canelo can really fight, and I've said it for years. This man ain't scared of nobody. He ain't scared of nobody. And now when he fights Charlo and then fights Benavidez, then what you gonna say? You want him to get in there? You want him to get in there with a gorilla, or you want him to get in there with a lion, or you want him to get in there with a beast? I don't know. Like, at the end of the day, he's gonna fight the guys that you wanted him to fight. There's always an excuse. There's always an excuse. He signed that deal. Benavidez is with PBC. What excuse now is Benavidez? Canelo doesn't want to fight me. He's running. Well, he's run to you. He signed with your company. He signed with your company. 3-fight deal. Who's he gonna fight? He ain't fighting Morrell. He ain't fighting. He ain't fighting any of the no names. Because like I said, Al Heyman don't mess around. Al Heyman ain't gonna give Canelo gimme fights, because Al Heyman's gonna be paying him a lot of money. If Canelo signed a 3-fight deal with Heyman, that means his plan has been set out. Not just his plan. And this is another thing I wanted to say, that Eddie Hearn kept thinking, like Eddie Hearn was promoting Canelo, but Eddie Hearn has no. Eddie Hearn's not really Canelo's promoter. Canelo's running the ship. Eddie Hearn's just promoting the fights, and he's putting on the shows. But Canelo Alvarez is really maneuvering and guiding his own career. And Reynoso and Canelo, they're the ones that are doing that. Eddie Hearn's just Eddie Hearn's just promoting the shows, which for Eddie Hearn is massive, right? But really, this shows that Canelo doesn't really have any loyalty to Eddie Hearn. But Hearn knows that Canelo being on his platform, firstly, Hearn has a thing where he wants to work with the best fighter, so he can say, yeah, I work with Canelo, I put on this many shows. And I've been saying all along that Hearn doesn't have no control over Canelo Alvarez. Canelo does what he wants. But to be fair, Hearn has kind of openly admitted that as well, that like, I put on the shows for him, Canelo's the boss. But this is what I was saying all along, that, you know, Canelo could leave Hearn whenever he wants to. I mean, he could go and sign with whoever. There's no loyalty there. It's just that he probably likes Hearn out of everybody else. But there's no loyalty. If Canelo sees that actually Hearn's not got nothing for me, Canelo's gonna, because really the only reason Canelo wanted the only reason Hearn was good to him, because Bivol is with Hearn, and that fight, Bivol is with DAZN, so that fight's gonna happen on DAZN. So that's why Eddie will put on that show. But I actually think again, like I said, I think the fights that Eddie's put on with Canelo, I don't think that, like, don't get me wrong, Eddie's really good at promoting in press conferences. I get all of that, but I think they've been pretty underwhelming, to be honest. I don't know, maybe because it was the guys that he was fighting, like Billy Joe. These are like British fighters, and obviously he's fighting in America. So obviously it's not the same, but like for me, the biggest fight that he's had, and look, Golovkin's obviously, it was a fight past its best and not a fight that really was received that well. I think it might have done decent numbers, but I think the Caleb Plant fight was very well. I thought that press conference was really good. I thought the build up to that was really good. I think that was probably the biggest fight that Canelo had in recent times, and that was with Al Heyman. So maybe Canelo's looked at that and he's thinking, well, that was Plant, this is Charlo, this is Benavidez, they're going to be massive. So now, if you look at it, Eddie Hearn has had fights with Canelo. And look, the Golovkin fight might have done big numbers. I don't think it would have done as big as what people think. But these fights now are going to blow the socks off. And Canelo knows that. Canelo's about to make a fortune. And Canelo knows that. And that's why Canelo's opted to sign with Al Heyman. Like, he's not stupid, because Canelo would want that flexibility. And if Canelo signed a 3-fight deal, that means the deal must be unbelievable, and he must have a clear pathway of what he wants to do. And there's probably now a clear pathway to fighting Charlo in September, and then fighting Benavidez in May, and then probably fighting in September again against a PBC fighter. Maybe there is a third fight. I mean, who knows? It could be Andrade. Who knows? But I don't know who else. Because PBC, if he's got to fight 3 fights and he signed a 3-fight deal, who's he going to fight for the 3rd fight? Maybe it could be a rematch. Who knows? You know, who knows? Who knows? Maybe that could be the reason as well that he signed a 3-fight deal. Because just say Canelo loses to Charlo, then the rematch, or just say Canelo loses to Benavidez and he gets a rematch. So that's why probably Canelo's thinking. Canelo's thinking, hang on a minute. If I do a 1-fight deal with Al Heyman and then his fighter beats me. So Canelo's going to have 2 fights anyway. Because Canelo can't be going... See, Al Heyman could have said, okay, that's fine. We'll give you a 1-fight deal. But there's no rematch clause. So Canelo would have to fight, like, Canelo would have to fight the rematch on the on Fox or with PBC anyway. So Canelo would have to have 2 fights. So effectively, Canelo's giving him 1 fight. He's giving him 1 more fight. So I think that's standard what's happened here, because I don't know what happened with Plant. So I know Canelo had so did he go into that fight taking the risk that if he loses the fight, that basically he's at Caleb Plant's mercy and at PBC? But I don't know what the scenario was with that. But I think it's standard practice. I think it's standard practice to have a rematch. So I think the rematch, if Canelo was to lose, would have to happen with PBC anyway. But I think even if Canelo opted for 1 fight, I think the thing is, although he would have been at the mercy of Al Heyman and Charlo and that, if he was to lose, Canelo is such a big star that they would want to do that fight anyway. It's not like, yeah, they'd have leverage power over him, but they'd want to do that fight anyway because it makes so much sense financially. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's smart from Canelo. I think he's going to make a fortune. And I think it's the right deal because I think Eddie Hearn really doesn't have any fighters that really, I mean, Belanga, these aren't fights that we want to see. Eddie Hearn had nothing anymore. The only fight he had was Bivol, and he couldn't deliver him that, or that fight just couldn't be made. And I think when I saw an interview with Hearn recently, he didn't look too optimistic about Canelo, and the way he slammed the Charlo fight kind of made me think, what's going on here? Because he slammed the Charlo fight saying that Charlo's not even going to be competitive. He's already kind of like putting the fight off. And that's what promoters do. That's what they're about. You know, obviously he probably realized that this guy's thing and he's putting that fight down by saying it's not competitive. But that's promoters for you. But I think it's a good fight. I think it's a lot more competitive than Belanga. I think it's a lot more competitive than anything that Eddie Hearn could have fed him. So, for me, I think it's a great fight. I think it's a great move from Canelo. So, that's it. That's my take on it. I think it's a good move, good fight deal for everybody, and we're going to get a Charlo fight. So, hopefully now we get to see the fights we want to see. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.